Let's talk a little bit about package management, which is really a fancy way to say how we can install and uninstall software. In this section, our objective is to understand and practice how we can install and remove software from our Kali Linux. In Linux, packages equals software. That's anything that you would install or remove. Obviously, you might wish to do that at any point in time. Nessus, for example, that we saw in our Hacking for Beginners course, doesn't exist by default on Kali. You might decide that I like Nessus and I want to use that, so you'll have to install it on Kali. The challenge though is that these packages often require dependencies. And these are additional pieces of software that are required to be installed while or before you install the main software that you want to use. So if we're taking the Nessus example, you might be needing to install additional software before you actually install Nessus itself. Luckily, however, different Linux distributions have different package management software. The package management software will take care of that for you. It will install the dependencies and you can use it to remove or update packages. These package management software have different names depending on the Linux flavor that you're using. For example, Red Hat has a package management software that's called Yum. For Debian, which is what's Kali based on, it's called APT. APT stands for Advanced Packaging Tool. And there are different commands that we can use with APT. For example, if I want to find out about a package, I can use the apt-cache search. If I want to see information about a package, I can do the apt-cache show. To install, I can do the apt-get install. And to remove, it would be apt-get remove. Removing a package with all its configuration files, I can do apt-get purge. When we normally install a package, for example, let's say SSH or FTP, we might actually change the configuration of this package. Let's say, for example, by default, SSH operates on port 22. But I want to change that. I want it to be on port 2222, for example. I can do that by changing the configuration of SSH. If I do apt-get remove, it will remove the SSH package, but it will leave the configuration files. And this is just in case I decide to reinstall it again. I'll have my configuration files intact, so I wouldn't have to reconfigure it all over. But if I decide I don't want it at all and I don't want the configuration files, I can use the purge command, the apt-get purge. Let's see how that looks like practically. I'm going to go to the menu on Kali, the graphical menu, and I want to see if I have any sort of FTP client. Let's say I want to connect to an FTP server. So I'll just type FTP in the search box and there are no results. There isn't anything I can use to graphically connect to an FTP server. So let's use the commands that we just learned. The first one was apt-cache search to search for a package. And I'm going to type graphical FTP. And here's a bunch of results. The third one, FileZilla, looks like something I want to try. It says it's a full-featured graphical FTP, FTPS, and SFTP client. It sounds perfect. Let me find out a little bit more information about it. And I do that using the apt-cache show and the name of the package, FileZilla. I'll scroll up to read about it a little bit. So that's the package name, and look at that. These are the dependencies that we talked about. For me to be able to install FileZilla without a package management tool, I would have had to install all of these dependencies first myself manually. Luckily, I don't have to do that. I'll read a little bit more about it in the description, and that looks like it's perfect to what I want. It supports FTP and I can use it to connect graphically to an FTP server. So I'm just gonna go ahead and install it. I'll type apt-get install FileZilla and it asks me if I want to continue or not. I can type yes if I want to. I'm gonna hit no for now just to show you another option. I can, with the apt get, do the -y option, which automatically answers yes. And here we go. It'll take a few seconds to install, and once that's done, I can go back to my menu and type FTP, and now I have a new software installed, or a new package installed. I'll click on that to open it, and here we go. This is a graphical FTP client. I can use that to put in the host section the name of the FTP server I want to connect to, the username, the passwords, and the port, and I can use that to connect to any FTP server I wish. I'm going to close that for now. And let's say I decide that I want to remove FileZilla. I'm done with it, I don't want to use it, or I don't like it, I want to try something else. Whatever it is, I just decided I want to remove. The command for that is apt-get remove and the package name FileZilla. Takes a few seconds to remove. And done.